Hi all, this is Simona Rich and this is section 3 of the Most Holy Trinosophia. A strong wind arose and I had difficulty in keeping my lamp alight. At last I saw a white marble platform to which I mounted by 9 steps. Arrived at the last one, I beheld a vast expanse of water. To my right I heard the impetuous tumbling of torrents. To my left, a cold rain mixed with masses of hail fell near me. I was contemplating this majestic scene when the star which had guided me to the platform and which was slowly swinging overhead plunged into the gulf. Believing that I was reading the commands of the Most High, I threw myself into the midst of the waves. An invisible hand seized my lamp and placed it on the crown of my head. I breasted the foamy wave and struggled to reach the side opposite the one which I had left. At last I saw on the horizon a feeble gleam and hastened forward. Perspiration streamed down my face, and I exhausted myself in vain efforts. The shore, which I could scarcely discern, seemed to recede to the degree I advanced. My strength was ebbing. I feared not to die, but to die without illumination. I lost courage, and lifting to the vault my tear-streaming eyes, I cried out, Judica judicium meum et redime me propter eloquium tuum vivifica me. Judge thou my judgment and redeem me. By thy eloquence make me live. I could hardly move my tired limbs and was thinking more and more, when near me I saw a boat. A richly dressed man guided it. I noticed that the prow was turned toward the shore which I had left. He drew near. A golden crown shone on his forehead. Vade mecum, said he, mecum principium interis, instruam to in via hac qua gradueris. Come with me, the foremost in the world. I will show thee the way thou must follow. I instantly answered him, Bonum est sperare in domino quam considere in principibus. It is better to trust in the Lord than to sit among the mighty. Whereupon the boat sank and the monarch with it. Fresh energy seemed to course through my veins, and I gained the goal of my efforts. I found myself on a shore covered with green sand. A silver wall was before me, inlaid with 2 panels of red marble. Approaching, I noticed on one of them sacred script, the other being engraved with a line of Greek letters. Between the 2 plates was an iron circle. 2 lions, one red and the other black, rested on clouds and appeared to guard a golden crown above them. Also near the circle were to be seen a bow and 2 arrows. I read several characters written on the flanks of one of the lions. I had barely observed these different emblems when they vanished, together with the wall which contained them. And now the explanation firstly of the image of the section 3, and then the text. 2 lions, one red and the other black, guard the crown. The crown is Kether, the fountain of wisdom. The king of beasts symbolizes nobility and rulership. In ancient times, figures of lions adorned the thrones of princes. These animals were also guardians of gates. And in Egypt, the Sphinx, the man-headed lioness, guarded the entrance to the house of the mysteries. The inscription upon the flank of the lion is inverted. An inverted symbol signifies a perverted power. Thus, nobility becomes tyranny, and greatness leads to despotism. In the introduction to his writings, Saint Germain warns his disciples of 2 adversaries which the neophyte must overcome. One he terms the misuse of power and the other indiscretion. The black lion represents tyranny, and the red lion lust. Those who would accomplish wisdom must overcome these animals if they would reach the crown which lies beyond. The black lion is the temptation of power, the impulse to build temporal empire in a spiritual universe. The red lion is the temptation to possess. Its ministers in the human body are the sense perceptions, which would deflect the aspiring candidate from his holy course and lead him into the fantastic sphere of appetite and desire. There can be no compromise with these monsters of perversion. With the vision there appear suspended the strong bow of the will and the two lance-pointed arrows. Quickly must the bow be drawn, and to the heart of each beast a shaft be driven. Kill out desire, decrees the Eastern master, slay ambition, row the Western sage. The clouds upon which the lion stands signify the unsubstantiality of the world's pomp and circumstance, while in the clear sky above the golden crown floats unsupported. Wisdom is a sufficient foundation for itself, but all other bodies and conditions depend for their support upon the frail stuff that dreams are made on. The panel above the lions commands that man should bend the knee and worship the all-powerful God who sends forth his love in a winged splendor from the first angle of the world, Aries. It also informs that the sixth sign, which is mighty and powerful, is the ending and completion of the ages. Virgo, the sixth sign of the zodiac, is the symbol of service and renunciation by which the lions may be overcome. He who gives up life for wisdom shall receive a fuller life. Beneath the lions is a panel containing Greek characters, which mean each must sprinkle himself with his own wine from the mountain of chaos. He must drink to God before the wood. He must give himself in exchange for that for which he yearns. These words are from an old ritual. Wood was the symbol of Dionysus, and it was in honor of this god of the wood and of the vine that the ritual of the communion was first established. To drink of one's own blood, or to sprinkle oneself with his own wine, is to be immersed in or tinctured by the inner soul power. Fermentation was the presence of Bacchus, or the life in the juice of the grape, and the Greeks used the symbol of intoxication, as do the Sufis of Islam, to represent ecstasy. A man in an ecstatic state was described by them as being one intoxicated with God. Now analysis of the text. The first initiation is that of earth, represented by the black marble passage, waste in the subterranean regions of the volcano. To pass this test, the body must be subdued in all its parts and become a perfect instrument of the enlightened will. The bodily atoms and molecules must be vibrated anew until there is no part of the physical fabric which does not pulsate with spiritual directed energy. The second mystery in the order of the Memphis Rite is that of water, and at the beginning of this section the candidate finds himself standing on the shore of a vast underground lake. This is the sea of ether which separates the two worlds. It is the humidic body of the earth, the sphere of generation. He who would reach the invisible world must cross this sea, that is, become master of the generative powers of nature. Led by the blazing star, the candidate throws himself into the midst of the waves. With his lamp upon the crown of his head, the spirit fire lifted into the pineal gland. He struggles for mastery over the currents of the etheric world. His strength fails, and he cries out to the universal cause for help. A boat appears. In it seated the king of the earth, with a golden crown upon his forehead. But the boat is pointed back toward the shore from which the neophyte has come. The crowned man offers the kingdoms of the earth, but the disciple of wisdom who has risen above these things cannot be thus easily tempted. Strengthened by the courage of righteous decision and aided by the invisible genie, the candidate fights his way to the distant shore. Before him rises the silvery wall of the moon, the lady of the sea, whose dominion he has passed. The fire initiation awaits him. Having mastered the vital principle of nature by which growth and propagation are controlled, the candidate next faces ambition, the fire of pride, and the flaming tyranny of emotional excess. He beholds the lions, the fire symbols. The key to the course of action is revealed by the hieroglyphics. The lions, the writing and the wall dissolve. The path stretches out through the sphere of eternal flame. The alchemical aspect of the symbolism is one of purification, or the passing of the elements of the stone through a bath. In this process of purification, they pass from an earthy state through a vaporous or watery condition to a fiery or gaseous quality. The lunar humidity present in all bodies must be dried out, which led the Greek philosophers to declare that a dry soul is a wise one. The Platonists interpreted this to mean that the mastery of the lunar principle brought to an end the reign of corruption by which all bodies are finally dissolved. The moon rules physical generation or the perpetuation of corruptible forms, but the sun has dominion over spiritual generation, the creation of incorruptible bodies. Man is the progeny of fire, the sun, water, the moon, and air, the bird of Thoth. The temptation by the king with the golden crown suggests one of the most common difficulties of the alchemical tradition. Those who attempted the art in most cases failed in their quest for wisdom because they became fascinated with dreams of wealth. Material gold tempts the alchemist away from his spiritual quest for enlightenment and immortality. This is the end of section 3. In the next video, you will hear me reading out section 4. Thank you for watching. Take care.